all ready to begin? Yep. Okay, thank you. We can start.
All right. Hello, we are from the quabbin2012comp team located in Barre, Massachusetts. Barre is a small rural town located in the hill country of north-central Worcester County and is almost in the center of our state. Barre covers an area of 45 square miles with a population of approximately 5,400 people. Barre's terrain is compressed of rolling hills with elevations ranging from 600 feet up to 1,200 feet above sea level with steep slopes of up to 25%. In the past, Barre was an agricultural community with many farms. However, today it has fewer active farms, but a large amount of fields and forests remain that cover 75% of Barre's land. Pastures, croplands, and open land cover 15%. 1/3 of Barre's land is protected watershed and is closed to development. Barre is in the Chicopee River watershed, which is the largest watershed in the state. The Prince River and the Ware River, which is Barre's largest river, were very important to power many mills during the 19th century. Today, the Ware River watershed area is protected land owned by the Mass DCR, Department of Conservation and Recreation, which includes 22,000 acres. The Ware River is Class A water, which is pristine and used as an untreated water supply. This is critical drinking water supply for the metropolitan Boston area. The Barre's Falls Dam was built by the Army Corps of Engineers to control the flooding of the Ware River in Barre Plains. Barre has 3 municipal wells which supply more than half of the town's population with their drinking water. Other residents depend on their own private wells. Barre also has a wastewater treatment plant and over 17 miles of sewer lines that service over half of Barre's residents. Homes in the outlying areas of town have their own septic systems. Due to the rural nature of our town and lack of developments, Barre has less than 5% impervious surface. These areas are located around the Barre Common and the Old Mill area in South Barre. One of the largest paved parking areas in our town is our school, Quabbin Regional. We toured our town to find the non-point pollution sources. We determined that the town's largest areas of impervious surfaces are our town common area, our high school parking lot, our elementary school parking lot, Ruggles Lane, as well as our one shopping plaza area. The runoff from the parking lots and roads contains salt and sand, as well as petroleum products that wash into streams. Farms with livestock also contribute to non-point source pollution because of the manure runoff, which increases nitrates in the stormwater. Local fields and farms also fertilize and use some pesticides, which also run off into streams. Our town has the Barre Landfill Transfer Station, which is located along the Ware River, which could also contribute pollutants to the water. Caitlin will now tell you more about stormwater management.
To research the current stormwater management issues in our community, our team interviewed many knowledgeable individuals on the topic. We met with members from the Ware River Watershed Association, Don and Ginny Rich. They told us that stormwater runoff is the leading cause of water pollution, which contributes to flooding as well as stream and habitat degradation. The first flush of pollutants from a parking lot during a storm is the most damaging. To learn about stormwater management in Barre, we met with our local DPW, Department of Public Works. We spoke with the Superintendent, Jason Pimentel, and Highway Foreman Richard Jankoukas. We learned that collection of stormwater differs from road to road, and most have catch basins that drain directly into the streets. We also discussed the different types of infrastructure that is currently being used in our town. We were surprised to learn that not only do we have infrastructure from the 20th century, but the 19th as well. The highway department dug up an old wooden pipe near the common that was over 200 years old. That's pretty old. The biggest problem for the DPW is replacing old infrastructure because there's no maps to show where the drain systems are. Wooden pipes and fieldstone drains demonstrate how old and outdated these methods are and how desperately Barre needs to improve the stormwater management practices. The clay tile pipes are decaying and plant roots are penetrating the joints and causing them to crack. Many of the clay pipes are undersized and not working efficiently, and the corrugated steel pipes are rusting away. The DPW is in the process of replacing all these pipes with ABS plastic and concrete pipes. DPW also informed us of problem areas in town. Mechanic Street is a very steep road where untreated water runs very rapidly into the Prince River. Over the years, this has created a 75-foot island in the middle of the river. We also discovered a hole on the Mechanic Street Bridge that drains directly into the Prince River as well. The stormwater contains sediments and pollutants that may be harmful to the wildlife. That's not good. The Barrie DPW is planning to install a deep sump catch basin. This is a type of catch basin that allows the sediments to settle to the bottom and float to the top and drain the water that's in the middle. And this is a pre-treatment of the water before it is discharged into the river to prevent pollution. Another problem area we visited is in Williamsville Road. The DPW has created roadside swales filled with gravel to slow down the runoff and prevent erosion. We observed BMP's best management practices in our town, such as silt fences and hay bales for erosion control, vegetative swales that slow down the flow of runoff then direct it into detention basins. We also discovered a sign that read, "Do not pile snow here," behind the Barrie Savings Bank parking lot to keep roads from entering the river behind it. A best management practice the DPW conducts every spring is sweeping the streets clean of sand sediments and cleaning the catch basins. We also met with Sarah Whiting, an environmental engineer, the stormwater management, and a former Envirothon member. With Sarah, we discussed the two main problems caused by stormwater: water quantity and quality. The quantity is too much for our town's old infrastructure, and the water quality is affected by pollutants washing off the land. She informed our team that Barrie is not required to apply for a NEPDES permit, National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System permit, because the town is so rural and undeveloped. Sarah recommends that the town becomes proactive in addressing stormwater issues. She also recommends educating the homeowners and public about sustainable stormwater management. Jared will now discuss our community service project.
The old 20th century approach to stormwater management was to just move the water away downstream without doing anything to it. This would lead to the pollution of many waterways. In our research of stormwater management, we learned new 21st century approaches that are more environmentally friendly. A sensible approach to stormwater management is low impact development, also called LID. And LID designs are stormwater and they manage the water close to the source. We were very interested in learning about an LID called a rain garden. A rain garden is a planted depression that allows runoff water from impervious surfaces to be absorbed by native plants. Rain gardens help capture water, improve its quality, and can also add wildlife habitat to an area. So for our community service project, we decided to try and build one. Cynthia Henshaw, Executive Director of the East Quabbin Land Trust, asked our Envirothon team to help build a rain garden at the Poloff Farm. The property had a stone culvert that drained stormwater from the street into the farm. This made the area around it wet and unappealing. The solution was to plant a rain garden in the area. This would help absorb and filter runoff while stopping erosion and adding wildlife to the area. Our first step was to remove all the patches of grass that we didn't want in there and any other plants. We used rocks to create different berms to level off the sections of the garden so that they could infiltrate uniformly. Then we used a bioretention mix of peat moss and sand to absorb water and filter out pollutants. We used a combination of over 200 perennial native water-loving plants that had deep roots. Blue flag iris, cardinal flowers, swamp milkweed, high bush blueberry bushes, and elderberry bushes were among the plants we used. These native plants will not need extra care and will grow naturally to fill in the garden beautifully, absorbing extra runoff water. All these plants are flowering and some even bear fruit. As they grow, they will attract many insects, butterflies, bees, birds, and many other species of wildlife to the farm. After planting, we covered the area in hay so that no weeds would grow in there. Through our hard work and research, we were able to create a rain garden that will capture and filter water while also will allow it to infiltrate through the ground in a low-pack in development way. It will always serve as a wildlife habitat and be a visual spectacle of beauty for years to come. Now my teammate Haley will describe the highest priority stormwater issue in Barrie.
The stormwater issue with the highest priority that affects the town of Barrie is flooding of the children's library. The section of the town library has flooded 3 times since being completed. The most recent flood was due to an overflow of water flowing from Dix Brook. Dix Brook is a small brook flowing from Tansy Meadow to Barrie Center into Crooks Canyon. On March 7, 2011, a rainstorm, dropping 3 inches of rain in 24 hours passed through the area, causing 9 inches of snow and ice to melt rapidly, overflowing the banks of the brook. The water carried large ice chunks and debris into old, undersized infrastructure, clogging pipes along the way. In the center of town, the brook had been buried under the ground with the development of new houses. An old pipe moving the water had collapsed, allowing all the excess water to run down Route 122 for 11 hours. The water flowed rapidly down the streets and sidewalks, collecting pollutants and soils. Water continued to move its way down to the parking lot of the Barry Children's Library. Water seeped through the walls and doors continuously, reaching a depth of about 2 feet. Severe damage has caused extensive repairs to the elevator shaft, and 4 feet of the walls had to be replaced due to mold growth. Although all the books and computers are damaged. The storm has caused $125,000 worth of damage to the Children's Library. The state granted Barry $25,000 for emergency cleanup. After the stormwater stopped flowing, the community had to take action. The state awarded Barry with a $1.2 million grant to fund this project. This included a $75,000 engineering cost. The structural solution to the old undersized pipe was to replace them. They also replaced the old culvert with a larger concrete culvert with winged walls that traps large debris in its trash route. Replacing the old infrastructure will allow future stormwater to flow quickly and efficiently into Galloway Brook instead of the Children's Library. The new construction has fixed the recent stormwater issue and will continue to work efficiently during future storms. Caitlin will now tell you about some action steps we recommend for sustainable stormwater management.
So while visiting the Barry Public Library and after researching many low-impact designs, or LIDs, our group learned many of the non-structural and structural management practices. There are some additional action steps we would like to propose to our library. We believe that the library should install pervious pavers in the parking area. The parking lot soil is very compacted, which does not let the water infiltrate down to the ground. Pervious pavers will allow the rainwater to flow through the pavers into the ground. This reduces stormwater volume and minimizes the pollutants from the street and parking area. We would also recommend installing stormwater planter boxes. Along the edge of the building, there's a pipe the water carries from the gutters above and discharges the water directly below into the parking lot. We recommend the installation of a raised planter in the corner and have the downspout drain into it. A stormwater planter is a small contained vegetated box that collects and filters the stormwater through the layers of mulch, soil, and plant root systems. This would absorb the excess water until it can be filtered down past the gravel, soil, and vegetation. Stormwater planters contain native water-loving plants and attract butterflies and other pollinators. The planter box would be a visual, pleasing addition to the entrance of the Children's Library. To educate the public, the library should add an educational display about sustainable stormwater management. For public outreach into the community, we did create a pamphlet which we can find to educate homeowners to do with stormwater and help with the water pollution. This will raise the awareness for homeowners with actions for improved stormwater management on their property. Such practices can be really simple, like maintaining a car, installing a rain barrel, or building a rain garden that right your lawn. And all these actions will help improve the health of our watershed because we all live downstream! Okay.